2025 is officially the year that TV takes over. From high-speed desert chases and White House conspiracies to mind-bending sci-fi and gritty underworld heists, the lineup this year is absolutely stacked. We've sifted through the noise to find the absolute must-watch series you can't afford to miss. These are the shows that will be dominating your feed and your weekends. Let's dive in. In the sun-drenched suburbs of Albuquerque, something impossible has happened. This is Pluribus, the mind-bending new series from Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan. Rhea Seehorn stars as Carol Sturka, a cynical, high-strung romance novelist who wakes up to find she is one of the last truly human people left on Earth. An extraterrestrial virus has swept the globe, but it didn't cause a typical apocalypse. Instead, it created the joining, transforming billions of people into a peaceful, perfectly content, and eerily polite hive mind known as the others. While the rest of the world is drowning in forced bliss, Carol is one of only 13 people immune to the change. She is the most miserable person on Earth, and now she is the only one standing in the way of humanity's total loss of free will. It's a slow-burn, atmospheric thriller that swaps out meth labs for a psychological battle against a utopia that won't take no for an answer. With Gilligan's signature eye for detail and a powerhouse lead performance, Pluribus asks a terrifying question. Is a world without pain still a world worth living in? To save the human race, Carol might just have to destroy its happiness. Pluribus is streaming now on Apple TV+. The series follows Tom Brandis, a former Catholic priest turned FBI agent who is carrying the weight of an unthinkable family tragedy. After months away from the field, he is called back to lead a specialized task force investigating a wave of violent trap house robberies that have left the local underworld in chaos. But the man he is hunting isn't a professional kingpin. He is Robbie Prendergast, a local garbage collector and struggling father who has been leading a double life. Robbie uses his job to scout drug dens, executing heists to provide for his family and avenge his brother. When a robbery goes sideways and Robbie ends up with a kidnapped child and a bag of pure fentanyl, he finds himself caught between the FBI and a ruthless motorcycle gang known as the Dark Hearts. With an ensemble cast including Emilia Jones and Thuso Mbedu, Task is a masterclass in tension and moral ambiguity. It is a story where the line between the hunter and the hunted is paper thin, exploring the desperate lengths people will go to for a second chance. The stakes are lethal, the atmosphere is heavy, and the redemption is hard-earned. Task is streaming now on HBO Max. In the heart of New York City, success isn't just about what you own. It's about what you can hide. This is Black Rabbit, a gripping descent into the shadows of the elite, starring Jude Law and Jason Bateman. The story follows the owner of a New York City hotspot, a man who has spent years building an empire of prestige and order. But that carefully constructed world begins to fracture when he allows his volatile, estranged brother back into his life. What starts as a family reunion quickly spirals into a chaotic game of survival. As the brothers navigate the dark underbelly of the city, they find themselves entangled with dangerous power players and secrets that refuse to stay buried. It is a masterclass in tension, exploring the thin line between brotherly loyalty and total self-destruction. With Bateman and Law sharing the screen, Black Rabbit delivers a sharp, sophisticated look at the cost of ambition and the ghosts that follow us into the neon light. The game is rigged, the stakes are lethal, and the only way out is to go deeper. Black Rabbit is streaming now on Netflix. On the surface, it looks like a serene, gated community for the world's most powerful elite. But in paradise, the newest thriller from Dan Fogelman, The Perfect Life, is a lie. The series stars Sterling K. Brown as Xavier Collins, a dedicated Secret Service agent who discovers the President of the United States, played by James Marsden, murdered in his own home. But as Xavier begins his investigation, he realizes he isn't just looking for a killer. He's trapped in a massive, high-tech bunker buried deep inside a mountain. The world outside has ended. The sky above is a digital projection, and the 25,000 people inside this dome are all that's left of humanity. Amidst the artificial sunlight and polished suburbs, a conspiracy is rotting the core of this underground utopia. With Julianne Nicholson as the bunker's ruthless architect and a web of secrets that stretches back to the day the world went dark, Paradise is a claustrophobic, high-stakes game of survival. In a world where the truth is as fake as the horizon, who do you trust when there is nowhere left to run? Paradise is streaming now on Hulu. Imagine the American Southwest in 1972. The heat is stifling, the engines are roaring, and the line between the law and the lawless is about to be blurred at 100 miles per hour. This is Duster, the high-voltage crime caper from the minds of J.J. Abrams and LaToya Morgan. We follow Jim Ellis, a battle-worn getaway driver for a rapidly expanding crime syndicate. He is the best in the business behind the wheel of a 1970 Plymouth Duster, but his life of clean escapes is about to get wildly, dangerously complicated. Everything changes when he crosses paths with Nina, the FBI's first black female agent. She doesn't just want him behind bars. She needs him to be her inside man to dismantle the very syndicate he serves. It is a collision course of shifting loyalties, retro aesthetics, and some of the most visceral car chases you have seen on television in years. With a powerhouse cast and a heavy 70s soul influence, Duster is more than just a thriller. It is a love letter to vintage cinema that hits as hard as a V8 engine. Buckle up. This is one ride you do not want to miss. Duster is streaming now on Max. 132 rooms, 157 suspects, one dead body, and one disastrous state dinner at the world's most famous address. This is The Residence, a high-stakes comedic murder mystery from the powerhouse team at Shondaland. The chaos begins at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue during a formal dinner for the Australian Prime Minister. When the White House chief usher, played by the legendary Giancarlo Esposito, is found dead, the most secure building on Earth becomes the world's biggest crime scene. Enter Detective Cordelia Cupp, played by Uzo Aduba. She is an eccentric bird-watching genius with a sharp tongue and zero patience for political red tape. Paired with a skeptical FBI agent, played by Randall Park, Cupp must peel back the layers of the upstairs, downstairs, and backstairs of the White House. From the president's unhinged brother and a moody pastry chef to a fictionalized version of Kylie Minogue, everyone has a secret and everyone is lying. It is a brilliant, fast-paced satire that plays out like a live-action game of Clue, where the stakes aren't just finding a killer, they're preventing a global diplomatic meltdown. With its razor-sharp wit and a massive ensemble cast, The Residence proves that even in the halls of power, no one is above suspicion. The secrets are out, the doors are locked, and the search for the truth is officially underway. The Residence is streaming now on Netflix. For our final series, we have Smoke, a chilling psychological thriller from Apple TV+ that reunites the creative team behind Blackbird. This one is unique because it isn't just a whodunit, it's a whydunit, where the line between the hero and the villain is non-existent. Here is the script for Smoke. In the Pacific Northwest town of Umberland, fire isn't just a hazard, it's a language. This is Smoke, the haunting crime drama from creator Dennis Lehane, starring Taron Egerton and Journey Smollett. The series follows Dave Gudson, an elite arson investigator and former firefighter who is the best in the business at reading the charred remains of a crime scene. Alongside Detective Michelle Calderone, he is tasked with hunting down two distinct serial arsonists who are terrorizing the region. One is a calculated shadow, and the other is a chaotic force of nature. But as the ashes settle, a disturbing pattern begins to emerge. Dave isn't just investigating these fires, he is intimately connected to them. Behind his mask of a decorated public servant lies a man fueled by a dangerous obsession and a secret identity as the very predator he is supposed to be hunting. As Michelle grows increasingly suspicious of her partner's instincts, the investigation becomes a high-stakes psychological game of cat and mouse. It is a descent into the dark side of heroism, exploring how ego and trauma can ignite a fire that no one can put out. With powerhouse performances and a thick atmospheric tension, Smoke is a masterclass in moral ambiguity. In a world where the truth is hidden behind a haze of deception, the only way to catch the fire is to become the spark. Smoke is streaming now on Apple TV+.